welcome to the Teaching Corner. Today I want to talk to you about why penmanship is important. We're going to do a little series on writing, and I'll in subsequent videos show you how to form different letters and do things, but today we're just going to talk about why this is an important topic. A lot of people feel like in our technology-laden world, kids are just going to learn how to type on typewriters or computers, and it doesn't matter. Students shouldn't really spend time on penmanship. So why does this matter? Well, the research shows us that teaching kids how to print actually makes them better readers. So while helping students learn to formulate the letters and name them and identify them as they're writing them, they're able to transfer this knowledge to reading. So producing those letters stroke by stroke makes it easier for our brains to perceive the letters while we're reading, and this results in greater transfer than what we get on the keyboard. And the reason for this is dragging our graphite across the paper has a much deeper neural input than typing on the keyboard. Also, our gross motor skills, which when we're first teaching students how to write, we'll air write or do it on the table and shaving cream or different things like that. Our gross motor skills have better memory than our fine motor skills. And so typing is all fine motor, whereas we can make print start out as gross motor and then go to fine. And just like riding a bicycle, where you can ride a bike and not ride one for 10 years and then get on it and ride it again, our gross motor skills, motor muscles, have better memory than our fine motor muscles. So by doing this, by teaching stroke by stroke, production enhances their perception. They're able then to see those letters in print and figure it out. Studies also show that our students benefit from getting print instruction in first grade, where they're learning how to make the letters stroke by stroke, and again in second grade, where they're reviewing those letters, but they're doing it to the point of automaticity. And it's really important for our students to learn how to write to automaticity, because if they're having to think about writing, if it's a cognitive process, then their brain isn't able then to do fluent writing. They're not able to think about the entire sentence. It gets broken up. That's where our kids forget what they were saying, what they were trying to write. It also, as they get into older grades, makes it more difficult for them to do note taking, because if they're having to focus on every single letter that they're writing down, they're not able to focus on what the teacher is saying. So we really want our kids to get to the point of automaticity. It also shows, studies show that less is more. When we're first teaching kids how to write, of course, we need to do 15 to 20 minutes of instruction, because we're teaching them how to form it stroke by stroke, and then they need time at the end of that to possibly, compose a couple of sentences or something like that. But once they've learned the letters, really all we need is about 5 minutes of instruction a day. So we're just fine-tuning those skills and giving them the opportunity to, but providing that review and reinforcement that they need to lead to automaticity. Students also really benefit from learning cursive in 3rd and 4th grade. And there's a couple of reasons for this. If you have a student that has reversals, BD, PQ reversals, things like that, oftentimes cursive will help those students, because there is a big difference between a cursive B and a cursive D, where there's not as much difference as a ball and a stick when you're doing it in print. So cursive for some students will help clear that up. It also helps students speed up their writing. So because it's connected writing, it helps speed it up. And as we're getting into higher grades and then into middle school and high school, students need to be able to write fast enough to keep up with their teachers, to take notes, to do all of those kinds of things. So cursive, when instructed in 3rd and reviewed again in 4th grade, actually benefited and caused students to be better spellers and writers in 4th through 7th grades. Another reason why teaching our students to write is really important. Our letters are accessed in our memory in alphabetical order. And so teaching our children to write helps facilitate their reading by helping them recognize those letters and words and letter recognition. And then throughout, even 4th grade and up, doing periodic tune-ups, again, only 5 minutes at a time or something like this, should be done Most of our students will end up using a mixed format. I know that I do. I use a mixed format of cursive and print in my writing because certain letters I find quicker in print and certain I find quicker in cursive. We have to remember there's never a one size fits all. Some of our students are going to want to continue writing in print. Some are going to want to continue writing in cursive. But we do need to provide students with both sets of instruction. I know both of my children were taught how to write in cursive and in print, and I have one who prefers to write in print and one who prefers to write in cursive. But we do need to provide that explicit instruction so that our students can be writing automatically. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!